Hello everyone and welcome to Talking Game and it's match preview. West Ham United against Watford on Tuesday evening. The Premier League is back. We've had enough of the FA Cup stuff, enough of the near misses, enough of the near scares, but back to the Premier League.
Just enough of the misses, really. Not just the near misses, just had enough of the misses.
Yeah, we've had enough of them anyway. Right, normally I ask you your thoughts on Watford, but we played them not too long ago, and because of games being postponed and that, not much has changed. But one thing that has changed, Gonzo, is the manager. Ranieri out, Roy Hodgson in. What do you make of that appointment?
That is a really good appointment. A really, really good appointment. Sensible, not the sort of thing that Watford would normally do. They normally go for a fruity foreign manager, don't they? And he knows them, by the way, because I think he was at Udinese years ago, Hodgson. So he knows the owners, which is really good. I can't think of anyone better. It does what he says on the tin. Hodgson does what Allardyce says. It says on Allardyce's tin, basically, which is I'll keep clean sheets, which Allardyce never really did. Remember Allardyce coming in and saying, "You won't see one of my teams." He came with saying, "I won't see one of my teams conceding 3 goals." Oh, really? And of course he doesn't get you relegated, which he does. So, but Hodgson has got a good chance as anyone, and I mean anyone, that they could feasibly get of keeping them up. He'll keep them really well organised. He will put square pegs in square holes. He'll have them fast. He'll have width. He'll have them organised. There'll be some set pieces. They will be really hard to break down. It won't be the most exciting football in the world, but you know what? They've had managers that will give them the most exciting football, and it hasn't always worked out. This is the first time I've actually felt, okay, you sort of know what you're doing here. They were going down under Ranieri. They were absolutely going down. Now they've hired Hodgson. They might not go down. Can't say for certain, but they might not. They're giving themselves a chance.
When we did the last preview, me and you were really critical because they were very short-term, Watford. It was like they had a plan for the next 6 months and that was it, really. Actually, credit to them because they've only got a plan for the next 6 months at the moment. That's exactly what they needed to do, funnily enough, which is get Roy in till the end of the season. If he keeps us up, fantastic. If we go down, he might even be the right manager to get them back up into the Premier League. Will they get that chance? Don't know. This is like an addition, if you like, to show that if they narrowly miss out and they're playing some good football or whatever, I'd imagine he would get the chance to take them back up. But when they got rid of Ranieri and got Hodgson in, as much as I don't really like the whole old British manager mantra that they tend to go for over and over again, actually, I do think Watford have got this one right. And it's because it's Roy Hodgson, not because it's an old British manager. I think if they went and got Allardyce, I went, oh, well, you buggered there, you're still going down. But because it's Hodgson, the reasons you've said, I think they've got a little bit of a chance, actually, because I watched the game against Burnley, the first clean sheet of the season. Yeah. Admittedly, it is Burnley, so if you're ever going to get a clean sheet, Burnley's one of the teams that you're probably likely to get against. But he can only do that against what is his first game. There's nothing else he could have done, really. So he got his clean sheet. He's got that sort of annoying, horrible stat hanging over their head gone now. I felt even under Ranieri, Watford had a little bit of cojones about them. They were fighting. The players were battling for it. He had Hodgson into the mix. And like you said, he's going to add that organisation. They are going to be hard to break down. They're going to be a pest to play against for the rest of the season. And these 0-0s, if you can just turn them into 1-0s here and there, it might just be enough to keep them up. It's, there's 4 teams down the bottom. 3 of them are getting relegated. I think Hodgson's almost given them an invisible point, if you like. You know how some players are worth points to their teams, like Declan is to us, to Watford. I think Roy Hodgson is maybe just worth that extra 1 or 2 on their tally for the season. But the big question, though, Gonzo, is will they stay up?
Well, I don't know. But I'll tell you something. That is, there are a number of managers that Watford could have got in who would have had the other clubs in and around them, and by that I mean Newcastle and Burnley and Norwich and Everton or whatever, who would have actually thought, okay, we'll have that. Let's say Watford hired Nuno Espirito Santo, right? For example, I think the others would have thought, fine, cool. I think that's, we can strike them off. Not that he's a bad coach, but you get what I'm saying. They would have thought more of the same.
Wrong fit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the moment they got Hodgson, I bet Eddie Howe and Sean Dyche and what's it over at Norwich? Used to be Villa, Dean Smith. I bet they all thought, I bet they were disappointed with the appointment of Hodgson. Thought, oh, okay, we're not going to have it easy. There's actually, we're going to have to really fight for this other place. And what with Dean Smith doing what he's doing, it's not like there's even an automatic one now. It's not like you could say, okay, there's 2 places where it will go down. Actually, there's 3 again, which is testament to everybody, really, they're really sort of all fighting for it. It is no guarantee. I do think it's going to be, let me have a look again. I think it's going to be 3 from the 4 that are at the bottom. Because I do think it's Everton. I think they've probably done the right thing. I'm just going to have a little look. Brentford could drop down, but 23 points already. They're unlikely to. It's only too many points. Leeds won't. I do. Norwich, Watford, Newcastle, Burnley. One of them staying up. They've got a chance. They've got a 1 in 4 chance, mate. I'm not going to say for definite.
I think it's a greater chance than that. I think Norwich are going to go, even though they're currently sitting outside the relegation zone at the minute. The teams have got games in hand. I know their points on board is better than games in hand and stuff. But I think Norwich will fall down there. I actually think Burnley will probably go as well. At the end of the day, while we're crediting Watford for their first clean sheet, Burnley the first team this season not to score against them.
Okay, sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's between Newcastle and Watford, and I guess it depends on who's got the most impact, because they both got new managers, and also whose signings had the most impact, because Newcastle's signings have taken the headlines for obvious reasons, but Watford made a couple of good additions themselves. You know, Kamara at left back is a fantastic signing for them, and it sorts out that problem. I thought their left back was their biggest weakness so far this season. They've got someone in now that can add a little bit of attack and play from that side. Defensively looks solid. They've got a new defensive midfielder. I've never heard of him, but he's looked pretty neat and tidy in his first couple of games for them. The numbers behind him when he arrived is good. Sarr's on his way back from the African nations as well. He's back to fitness. He's on his way back. Dennis was suspended for the last game, but he'll be back soon as well.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, they've got a front 3 of whoever he wants. Is it Dennis? Is it Sarr? He's got King there. He's got Pedro there. He's got Hernandez on the bench. He's got a lot of attacking options. He's probably got better attacking players than what Burnley have got. It's just in Roy Hodgson's ethos will sort the defence out. He will make the defence better than some of their parts, your favourite phrase. I'm going to say Watford stay up. I'm going to say Newcastle go. I just think Roy is a bit more built for this than perhaps Eddie Howe, and I think he could probably make an impact quicker than Eddie Howe can at St James's Park. So I'm going to say Watford survive by the skin of their teeth. Now, before we get any further, just want to point in the direction of the One Football app, which is sponsoring this video. It's the best football app for the football fans. So Watford fans, keep up to date with all your latest new additions. You want to know a little bit about them, you download the app. It says, oi, who's your favourite club? You say Watford. You click on the emblem, click on the squad. You can click on your new signings like Kamara, and it'll give you a small insight statistically into the player, their ages, their heights, if you want to know that, and how they got on at their previous club. Keep up to date with all the latest West Ham news, Hammer fans. We're all waiting for the news of Kurt Zouma's injury. Is he injured or is he fine to rock and roll? We'll find out on the One Football app as soon as that news is available. The best thing is that it's completely free. Links in the description and the pinned comments of this video. So get downloaded to your phone today and keep up to date with your club with the best football app, in our opinion. That's no one else's claim. That's mine and Gonzo's claim. Right, Gonzo, I've got some stats for you because of Roy Hodgson. Yes. I went and had a little look. So he's lost 18. We've lost 18 of 21 games against Roy Hodgson. So he's actually beaten West Ham more than he lost. That makes sense. So his record against the Hammers is quite good. He's only lost 2 of the last 10 against West Ham United as well. Both those games with 3-2, funnily enough. That was the last couple against Crystal Palace. Yeah. However, while that's a little bit worrying, if you want to break it down to managerial head-to-heads, his record against David Moyes is not too good. David Moyes has beaten him 8 times in 13 games. Only 5 games as Moyes failed to beat Roy Hodgson as a manager. Last question about Watford as always, Gonzo. Who's your mayor, please?
I really like Sarr. Is he back? He's eligible to play against us?
Yeah, but I doubt he'll play. I mean, he only played yesterday in the African Nations Cup final. I'll be very surprised. Bearing in mind, it went to extra time. Good. He did come off. I can't remember. I think he came off just before the 90 minutes were up. But he's only just back from a lengthy injury as well. So I think, given that, I'll be very, very surprised if he's in the squad. But desperate times for Watford, so you never know.
Yeah, I do think he's a tremendous player. He's somebody that I've wanted us to sign for 2 or 3 seasons now. And really, really admire him. Very, very good. Dennis was still a threat, even though, he scored a great goal, didn't he? It was put Dawson on his arse, didn't he? Of course. So I think he's a tremendous player as well. I think Sissoko's in a little bit of a renaissance in his career, certainly, having had some dips. I think these are the more I think about it, the more, and we list them, and you talk about King as well. I look at these guys actually, and I think, I can see these guys. We're dealing with what Hodgson likes, which is width and strength and pace, and I like a lot of these features with these characteristics with these players. Lots of them actually. The midfielder, I don't know. I've not seen the midfielder, as you say. Some good players there, mate. And the goalkeeper, to be fair, the goalkeeper, can be good on his day as well. So, getting a bit worried about it now.
Yeah, like I said, I think Kamada's impressed me a lot since his arrival from France. He had a reasonably big reputation, I guess, as a player come over. It's maybe a bit of a coup for Watford, to be honest with you, but someone sort of had to take the gamble on, and they've done it, and I think they're reaping the rewards already. I think Dennis has been the signing of the season. I know a lot of plaudits will go to Conor Gallagher on loan, or Arsenal spending on Ramsdale, where I don't even think he's been Arsenal's best signing of the season, but that's for a different show.
Alex Crowell.
Of course, we can't forget Alex Crowell, can we? But I think Dennis at 3 million, what an absolute bargain he's been for them. I think Kuka, whenever I watch them, I actually don't mind that Kuka in midfield for them. He's quite tough tackling, doesn't mind a shot from distance. But I'm at West Ham, probably not. But when you're in a relegation battle, that's the type of player you need in there. And I agree with you about Sissoko. I think sometimes when you're not good enough for the Super League 6, you almost disregarded as a footballer for the Premier League to some extent. You can't make it them, rubbish. And I think most people say it jokingly, of course, but then they do have plenty to offer to dropping down to one of the non-Super League 6, get the attention off them a little bit. There's not so much pressure on them, and they're able to sort of flourish. And I think Sissoko's doing that at Watford for them this season. I think he's been absolutely brilliant for them. And if Watford do go, there's only a few players who will get a move back to a Premier League club. I think what Sissoko's done for them in this short of space of time is almost guaranteed him a move back into the Premier League should Watford go down. Now, West Ham are at home tomorrow evening, which means our boats are operating as usual. They are on the canal just behind the East Stand, so you fancy joining some West Ham fans for a pint and a burger before the game, you can do on the boats. The link to get your ticket is in the description below. So, come join us on our boats before tomorrow evening's game. Gonzo, let's talk West Ham. The latest on Kurt Zouma is that he has a scan today on Monday at the time of recording. We do not know the outcome of this scan. It's one of them. You're going to have to wait for David Moyes' press conference a little bit later on in the day. But would your formation change, Gonzo? And obviously for the sort of the preview, Moyes said he's fine after the game, but I'm not too sure I believe him. Hypothetically, we'll assume he's fit. But if Zouma wasn't fit, would you want to see the formation change?
I hadn't thought about it, but I think now you mentioned it, it might be a sensible thing to do. We got issues. I mean, I probably wouldn't. I think I probably wouldn't, because we played with that formation for such a long time that we're playing at the moment. It might be the wrong time to do it. I don't know. I could be convinced either way. It's what's scaring me. What's playing in my mind is Diop. That's what's really playing in there, particularly as we just listed these twisty, turny Watford players. It'd be a nightmare for him. And somebody put in the comments to my video the other day, it's a bit of an old Disney film now, but anyone that would see it compared him to Bambi on ice, which is basically when Bambi is just born and goes onto a frozen lake and it's all gangly and long legs and falling about all over the place. Basically, can't stand up. And I thought, Diop was a bit like Bambi on ice. So that would worry me. But then again, it's tough, mate. I'm unsure. Do we bring Elise in for this one? I possibly would if we played a 4.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think if Zouma was there, I think part of me wants to see a switch to the back 3, but the problem is, who do we play left wing back? This is why in the January transfer window, I was keen for us to sign someone that can play left back / left wing back, so then we can deploy Aaron Creswell as a left centre-back in games if we need to have this formation flexibility, if you want. And here we are, possibly the first league game after the window's shut. We could maybe staring at Zouma out. So what do we do, kind of thing? So I agree with you, actually. I think if he was out, I think if we can't go to a back three, I don't think we can, because I know we could play Johnson left wing back, but he won't. He'd put Masuaku there. And I think I'd rather see Elise start in a back four than Masuaku start left wing back with a back three in operation for West Ham. But anyway, hypothetically, let's assume Zouma is fit. Okay. Who do you like in goal? I mean, we always flip-flop, don't we? Every second preview you tune into Hammers Chat, then we pick a different goalkeeper. Are we back to Fabianski?
We are. I'm sure you are. You are as well. So, yeah, Fabianski in goal. And I'll preempt your next question, which would be Soufal at right back for me, please, mate.
Would you? Because he's been out of form before the winter break. He's been bang out of form. A couple of really stinky games against Leeds and Man United. Soufal was awful. He got hooked.
Yeah, I would, for the reason being, I actually thought we missed him on against, I don't know why I wanted to say Accrington Stanley. For some reason I did, but we didn't play them. It was Kidderminster, of course. But we would have probably missed him against Accrington Stanley had we have played them. We would have made tough work of that one as well. I felt we missed him. I felt we were missing our we were losing our duels, our individual battles. And say what you want about him, he will fight, he will scrap. And I want to see a little bit more of that in the team. I wasn't even overly convinced with when, for instance, Souček came on that he scrapped particularly, and stuff like that. So I want some. We're going to have to contest this. It's going to be hard. So I'd start with Soufal.
I would start Ben Johnson. He didn't have a good game against Kidderminster Harriers, but he was one player that was trying hard, and I still see him as a right back. So I don't want to say he's out of position on the left, but he wasn't in his best position on the left. And I think Soufal's poor performances against Leeds and Man United, if we had had a game immediately after Man U, he should have been dropped for it. And I think just because we've had a winter break, I almost think, well, does that justify playing him again? Not for me, really. I think Ben Johnson's form prior to Soufal's bad performances deserved more minutes on the pitch. And you're trying to sort of second guess where Roy Hodgson's going to play Dennis in this game, actually. You're sort of having to take if he's on the right, I think you're fine with Soufal. But if he's on the left, I think I'd rather see Ben Johnson there, just because at the minute he's the better defender of the two. And we need to keep Dennis shut out for this game, otherwise we'll be in trouble. So I'd like to see Ben Johnson. And I guess I'll agree with you. I'm going to assume you'd see Dawson, Zouma and Aaron Caswell.
Yeah, I mean, there's no option. There is no other option there. I don't mean that, but Dawson was fine when he came on. Dawson's fight. He got booed against Watford, which made me laugh. Really, I sort of understand if someone sort of if someone sort of refuses to play and skips training and is demanding a move. Boo him and all the rest of it. But I think they just booed him because he used to play for them. I'm pretty sure Dawson didn't do anything wrong. But boo. So let's get him on there to get booed again. That'd be nice.
And middle of the park.
Well, we don't have any choice again, I'm afraid, really. So there we go. If only there'd just been a transfer window. We'll play Souček and we'll play Declan Rice for this one without any real thought needed.
Yeah, it's a frustrating one because last time we played Watford, Souček was man of match because Rice wasn't next to him. Got the first goal for us as well. It was one of the best performances I've seen from Souček in a West Ham shirt, and I almost want to see that Souček again because why would you not? If he's played this team just a few weeks ago, wasn't that long ago, and was man of match, why would you not play Souček the exact same way again? But the problem is we can't because Declan Rice is going to be next to him, so we won't see that Souček. A bit frustrating. This is where it gets, I think, debatable is when we move further up the pitch. So Jared Bowen obviously starts on the right. What other two attacking midfielders would you like to see included from the start?
Well, Lanzini's got to play. Lanzini has to play in this game. There's no doubt about that. Bowen, as you say, one more. Ooh, I mean, 4-0's... It's tough, isn't it? It's a tough one. Cheeky question, Geo.
I don't think Lanzini should play because I think for now, this sounds mental, doesn't it? you need to reward Fornals for what he did against Kidderminster Harrier. But that's where we are.
Yeah,
that's where we are. We've got to reward Fornals for what he did against a team 6 divisions below us in the FA Cup. However, I think we do. He came on, did that pass for Yarmolenko. He died. There was nothing wrong with the pass. Pass was inch perfect. Did the pass for Declan Rice. I thought he just calmed things down. So the reason I don't want to see Lanzini start is because if Lanzini starts, it pushes Fornals out to the left. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Fornals on the wing. He's not a winger. We've established that. But also when he's out there, you just restrict what you can do. You restrict everything about him. And I know his pass for Rice come from the left-hand side of the pitch, but he wasn't playing left wing. He just drifted out there to get involved in the play. You know, you look at the Yarmolenko pass, he's on the right-hand side of the pitch, or slightly to the right-hand side of the box. So I want to see Fornals sort of in the number 10 role. So that means no Lanzini, unfortunately, unless you put him on the left. But I don't really want to see that. So I want to see Fornals ahead of Lanzini for this one in his best position. Well, whatever that is, but his best position available is in the number 10 role, I think. So I would like to see Fornals in there, Gonzo.
Yeah, I want to see Lanzini in there. I thought we really missed him against the old Kidderminster Harriers. So obviously Bowen's got to play, which the left wings are tough. I think Yarmolenko might just shade it for this one.
Yeah, hopefully he can play for Watford.
Absolutely. He would get anywhere near Watford. Roy Hodgson
would be our man of the match if he did.
Take one look at obviously, you know. So we'd go with it's tough. It's tough. Ben Rama.
Yeah, I reckon Ben Rama as well. Just Vlasic is not in the equation as far as I'm concerned, really. So it sort of has to be, say, Ben Rama. But also, when we praise Watford, as much as we've just said that they've got a good player in this position, that position, neither of us spoke about Kiko at right back, because he's not that great. He's on his day, he's an average Premier League right back, and that's when he's playing well. And that's their weakness, probably. Like I said, I think their left back's been very impressive since he's come in, so stay away from him. Just go down the other side. Their weakness is their right back. Let's get Ben Rama up against him in a one-on-one battle. Creswell behind him, helping him and supporting him as well. And we should get some joy down that side. The only thing I will say about Lanzini starting, he used to play bloody well against Crystal Palace, and that was obviously Roy Hodgson's team. So Lanzini's previously played well against Roy Hodgson's outfit, so I can see the reasoning for it. I just think Fornals made the difference on Saturday, and he will be feeling confident. You can see the celebration when Rice scored. You see Fornals' celebration. I want a little bit of that in the team. Antonio up front, but it's just by default more than anything, isn't it?
Well, he can't be sharp. He can't be. He can't do all that travelling and play all those games. He's not had a rest. Everyone looked tired before that. He's flown around the world and played 3 games while everyone else having a rest. And he got back late as well, which Moyes wasn't happy about. I can't imagine. I think he'll be there in person. Will he be in beast mode? No, I just don't think he will. I think he'll be there, and I might see the ghost of Mikel Antonio past in many respects. I hope it's not. I hope I'm wrong. Everybody hopes I'm wrong because we don't have a choice. There's no one else to play there. Maybe we could stick Yarmolenko up top, I guess. But it's going to have to be Antonio. Fingers. I mean, everything crossed that he's okay. I mean, there's 2 things, really hinge on this game. It is Zouma being fit to play, and Mikel Antonio not being knackered or broken. If we can get both of those things as such key players for us, then we got a chance of winning the game. But they are either one of those. One of them blunts our attack. The other one makes us easy to get at, very easy to get at, but easy to basically without both those things, we struggle to score goals, and it's easy to score goals against us. So I better hope I'm wrong.
I can only really echo what you've said. We should be sitting here sort of excited about Antonio returning, but I don't think there's much of that. I think his lack of form, again, we go back to the Man United game just before the winter break, he was extremely poor, and he's gone away for Jamaica. And even when he played for Jamaica, he wasn't that good. He didn't really play that well for them. It's not like he went over there and scored a goal in every game and he was man of the match contenders or that. In his final game, the third game out of 3, he was hooked quite early. I don't know, about the 55th minute or something, he was hooked. He didn't play well at all. So it wasn't even a good international break for him. Got his goal from the penalty spot. But, like you said, he comes back on Friday. Moyes doesn't seem too happy with it, which I don't really have any sympathy for what it's worth. I don't think, Moyes is right, but Moyes also did nothing about it kind of thing. Yeah. But this is where I want to sit here and I almost by sort of default, Geo, I almost want to say, well, Antonio's got a point to prove. He's got to come back and justify going and playing for Jamaica. He's got to come back and say, actually, I can go and play for Jamaica, then come back and play for West Ham. I can do both. I'm fine. I'm capable. But what point is he really proving by that? Because he's got no competition whatsoever. He's basically told us in the transfer window, Antonio's told us, I want competition. I need somebody to come in that's going to push me. But it didn't get him. So will that make him a bit complacent? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on Tuesday. I hope I'm wrong, but I say wrong. I'm just not. I'm confident in Bowen playing well. I'm confident in Rice playing well. Confident in Craig Johnson doing all right against Watford. I'm confident in Creswell playing well and Fabianski playing well. I just don't have that confidence with Mikel Antonio, and I used to. But over the last few weeks, it's just disappeared a little bit. And you take into consideration the international break, it's a bit like if we'd signed a striker in January, I'd want him to start up front on Tuesday. Just leave Antonio on the bench, give him that little break, get the new guy in there, and let's have whoever it was, whether it was Origi or someone of that ilk, I say, let's get the new guy in there, take the pressure off Antonio. But we don't have that option at the minute, and it's frustrating, if you like. You confident?
No.
Yeah, we're not really oozing confident vibes here, are we? We play the team third from bottom in the Premier League. We're fifth, and it's not feeling like that.
No, I'll be surprised if we win this game. I have to say, I really would. This is tough. I mean, you talk about Antonio there. If you look back to the start of the season, after the first 3 or 4 games, if someone had said to you, and bear in mind, Antonio hasn't had a major injury this season, but if someone had said to you then, bearing in mind how he finished last season as well, Mikel Antonio doesn't have an injury this season, he's going to be up there with the top 3 or 4 goal scorers in the Premier League. You'd have probably said, oh, well, you know what? He might have a chance, actually. If he stays injury-free, he might have a chance. He's in such good form. You know, he might well get 15, 16, 17 goals this season. It wouldn't have been beyond the realms of possibility. He was hot property. He's a million miles away now. He's a million miles away from that. He just doesn't look like one of the top players in the Premier League, which he did at the end of last season and the start of this season. And that's a problem. It's not like we lost a player. The player's still there, but we did have one of the best players in the Premier League there, and he just ain't that at the moment. We need to try and harness that and get that back. Watford are going to have their tails up for this one, Gio. They really are. They're going to be organised. I always remember Andros Townsend always speaks tremendously well. With no surprise, he features in the media so much. And I remember an interview with him explaining what it's like to play for Roy Hodgson. And he said, I'm never in any doubt what I have to do on that football pitch. We've given such concise instructions about ourselves, what we have to do, about the opposition and what the manager expects of us. And not only that, I'll be given targets throughout the game. So for instance, he would be given a target. Okay, this is your position to take up defensively. When you're attacking, I expect you in this game to get at least 6 crosses over. And everyone individually is given that. It's really well drilled. And when you've got that, it's tough. It's going to be a tough old game, mate. And it's hard to be confident, bearing in mind you've just seen how we played and we're a little bit low because of the window, and also we weren't in great form beforehand.
Yeah, I'm a bit the same as well. It's almost like the Roy Hodgson effect for me. I think the last time we played really well was against Watford. We've won a couple of games since. We've beaten Norwich, but that's all we did. We just beat Norwich. I think we were really, really good against Watford last time, but a large part of that, I think, was down to how poor Watford were. And I don't think they're going to offer up that level of performance again, which makes it an easy game for us. So I think we're going to have to raise our game compared to what we saw in the last 4 or 5 games. This, it goes back to prior to the winter break. Saturday, it's stopped being great for us recently. We've got some players bang out of form. We're sitting here doing the hypothetical 11 we'd like to see. They should almost pick themselves to some extent, and we're picking the left winger by who's the least worst out of the 2 or 3 of them. It's not, that guy's in form, into the team. It's, he's very out of form. He's not really been doing it. He's been average, so he can get a game. That's the striker. We're sitting here saying, well, our striker's not been very good recently, but he's got to start. It's not good, is it? No. This isn't how you should be picking your 11. It's not how Moyes will be picking it, but that's the end result. I'm not confident for this one at all. I think it'll be a tough game. I think it'll be a hard game. I think they'll be well drilled. I think we're going to struggle to beat them down all season. The games that we've struggled in is the games where we come up against a well-organised defence that says you can have the ball in your half, you can have the ball up until 30 yards out. What are you going to do? And our answer's been, don't know, we're just going to knock it about, really, side to side, put a few hopeful crosses in and hope something comes off. And I think we're going to see a bit of that tomorrow night. I'm not looking forward to this at all. And to be honest with you, I'm quite nervous because after that late scare on Saturday, it feels like this game has just got a little bit more important than it was before we played Kidderminster Harriers. We got off with on Saturday. I'm not so sure they'll be as lenient. So can I get any final words from yourself? Your score prediction. Normally I get a vibe as to what you're going to go for. I'm not getting that today, so this will be interesting.
Okay. If Zouma is so Zouma's key and Antonio's key. So Antonio will play though. Yeah, we are still capable of scoring a goal. Bowen is in good goal scoring form. Let's get that right as well. And that's why I want to play Lanzini there as well. If they're tough to break down, Lanzini can score a goal against them or at least create one. So I'm going to give you 2 different score lines, okay, which I don't normally do and I don't ever do, right? But I think if Zouma plays, it's a 1-1 draw. I think if Zouma doesn't play, Watford win 2-0.
Oh, that's a big call. I'm going to do the same because Zouma is that important. If we were missing Ben Rama, I wouldn't give you 2 options. It's like Ben Rama plays or not. It's the same. If Zouma plays, I'll say 2-1 West Ham. If Zouma doesn't play, I'll say 0-0. I think it'll be another 0-0 game. I'll go 0-0.
If Zouma doesn't play, you think we can keep a clean sheet?
I think it's because I've just seen them play Burnley, Watford, and their game.
You think we'll concede less goals?
I think we'll be more attacking. I think we'll be more attacking with Zouma in the team. I think without Zouma, I think Moyes probably plays for the 0-0. I think we'll play a little bit deeper. I think the attacking options may change. If Zuma's out, I think Fernal starts. Moyes thinking, I can't not have him in the team, and he goes, if Zouma does start, he'll pick whatever 3 attacking players he wishes to. I think it sets up the rest of the team. We might, if Zouma doesn't play, we might go to a back 3. Zouma does play, we probably won't. Do you know what I mean? I think Moyes' mentality completely changes on the basis of Kurt Zouma, and I think we will see us go more defensive in his absence. But when I watched them play Burnley, which was on Saturday at 6 o'clock, so it was literally at the weekend, it was a very Burnley would be on top for 10, 15 minutes, then Watford would be on top for 10, 15 minutes. And there was some half chances for both teams at best, and that was it. It was almost like the most predictable result. Sean Dyche v Roy Hodgson finishing 0-0, and it played out a little bit like that. But you know something? Everton, David Moyes, to some extent, against Roy Hodgson, 0-0 would be quite a predictable result. You wouldn't be that surprised, and that's why I'm just going to go for 0-0 on Tuesday. I think both managers will probably be okay with it as well. So, should we leave it there, my friend?
Yeah. It's all right, everyone. Apologies.
But that's what we think, Henry. Well, to be fair, well, you said a draw. I said a win for us if Zouma starts.
Yeah, that's one of the things I said anyway. Look, I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I'd be buzzing if we're,
it makes it more enjoyable, though. If you do then win, it makes it more enjoyable.
Oh,
you win the game.
Yeah. Well, yeah, imagine if, thinking we'll struggle and then you get a 3-0 win, you think it's Christmas.
Happy days. Anyway, if you enjoyed this preview, somehow drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Tomorrow night it's a 7:45 kickoff, which means we are live at 6:40 p.m. on this channel with our build-up show, followed by our watch-along, followed by our review. Hammer Chat has everything you need on a match day. Make sure you come back tomorrow evening if you're not at the game. But if you are at the game, enjoy it. We'll catch you in a bit.